Yo, 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 yo. What's up, y'all? Chaz is here. You may call me Moto for those that do know me. How is everything? Yo, I said I was gonna make a video on a serious note explaining why I quit smoking marijuana cannabis. I'm sure it's a shocker for those that know. Um, I'm one of the pioneers, I can honestly say, when it comes to smoking. And I'm not saying that to put that in the light of like, yeah, I smoked mad weed. Blah, blah, blah. Like, no. Um, it was something that I grew up doing at a younger age, and that's something I'm not really too proud about. But it's a part of my story, and just to touch base, I don't want to get into too much details with certain things of me explaining it, given I want to keep it all in a given time frame. So this video is not going to be too long. Um, so yeah, I got rid of the thought of smoking like a month and a half ago, and I was already on the verge of giving it up. And beyond previous times of saying it and going through relationships and things like that, and people realizing certain things about you, I was looking at it for myself, and the main thing that stood out to me was because I was so young smoking and enjoying the feeling that it brung was enlightening to me in an artistic way. It started when middle school years. I was around family, and my oldest cousin put me on the game of it, and being around that area, I was always around older crowds. So that right there, it was easy influence, but not so much so. Better than being with friends and peers of people just doing it for the heck of it. I was around the crowd that knew what they were doing, and they knew that I was young, but at the same time I was in good hands regardless. And I've learned to make my own way of picking up and being able to buy it and supply myself. Though I never distributed it, I never did that. I was always just stable to just wanting to do it for the fun of. I like listening to music. And in middle school, after I personally got held back and detained, I should say, um, it brought in a lot of chaos in my mentality, and I was feeling really lonely and lonesome, and I had went through a deep depression, and it was terrible at the time, and marijuana helped me with just being all right with myself in a way where I knew things was going to be okay. And I didn't want to take the route of giving up completely to be off the face of the earth. So I've listened to a bunch of music. I connected with an artist, for example, Kid Cudi, and listening, listening to his music was like listening to somebody else explain how I was feeling, and in the biggest way, it brought so much joy in my heart to know that somebody else out there was feeling the same way as I was, and somebody older at that. So it was crazy that a 13-year-old would be thinking the things that he was thinking that possibly a 23-year-old was thinking. It was interesting, and it developed a habit of wanting to be curious to life, and with that, I feel like a lot of people that do smoke, especially for the younger crowd, are just doing it for the glory of being cool, and that's something that's real. And a lot of people don't really get to touch base on the younger crowd and at the same time the older crowd and mesh the world so they both understand each other. It's always the one thinks that they know more than the other, and then this one is like criticizing this side, and it's just like there's no common compromise in between to teach instead of, just bash them. So that's where I wanted to, change my image of myself when I look in the mirror. And I, I believe over time, growing up in that mentality state, you learn a lot, but then it's making you fall into positions that you're not so much ready for because you didn't let your mind soberly mature. And there's, don't get me wrong, there's people that know how to balance, being in a state of, just that empowerment of a substance. And then there's some that don't, that just go about it because they're just the feeling, or they, want to just erase all negativity around them, and that's fine. I would never say that one way is better than the other. I just know for me. And that's always just something I was that type of kid. I always did things how I wanted to do them. And I guess it was just the name given with me, just being Chaz. My route was always against the grain. But definitely, I noticed certain things as I grew older. I missed out on certain chances while being high, or I took advantage of chances while being high, and it took me to another it took me to another place that I probably wasn't necessarily ready for. But within my path of life, it was a great thing that I've done that. Because now, being 23, I feel like being in the early 20s right now in the 21st century that we're in, it's like being 4 years younger again. We're still finding each other's patterns and knowing what we want to do. It's always very confusing for the younger crowds of, that nature, early 20s, to figure out exactly what they want to do. Even when they feel like they do know what they want to do, it's very confusing to try to pinpoint, this is what I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna get to this point. And it's like we're always we're always put in a bracket to have a blueprint. And for me personally, I learned in life, you have to just be able to go with the flow of things. Most times than not. It's always good to have a plan, but for me personally, plans don't go well with me. And I don't know if it's just me, my mentality, or how I bring things in, but I'm always so curious to something new that it's like it takes away the point of a plan, because I can still follow this plan, but then I'll find something that's just like out of the box of the plan, and I'm just like, oh man, like I could get real good at this, and I know it because you feel it in your heart. And that's just something how I wanted to be able to elevate. And throughout this process of the 30 days, it was me really, tuning in with myself. And that's something that I wanted to do. I cut back from a lot of people I was hanging around. I, changed up my scheduling. Even though my sleep pattern is out of this world, I don't even know how I stay up. But it's the energy that I've developed. And even making this video now is all a growth, because me even telling you guys this, I didn't have to write any of this down, but it's something that I feel in my heart that I'm doing that is greater than anything that I could possibly put into context. And it's just like I feel so much free. Like I feel like I'm on a high of all highs right now. And it's enlightening to feel that way, because people would still look at me and just be like, oh, he must be still smoking, or he's under an influence. It's like, and this is the key that I'm saying in society, is that people are not comfortable with being themselves, because other people are putting them in a box of what they look like or how they act. It's like they must be under an influence, or they must, and that's why you'll have the successful ones that are so animated, and then you have the other people that's just like stuck in that mentality to just stay in that same frame all their life. For me, being under that substance, it was keeping me in that box. Even though I was thinking outside the box, I've learned enough from it that it's just like, I'm pretty much that all day. Like, why would I have to go to that point? I'm already calm. I'm already chilled. I'm laid back. I'm wild when I have my wild moments, and I'm fun when I'm having fun. So it's just I would love for people to have that same feeling that I have, no matter, whether you have a job or if you don't, as long as you're doing something for you. And if you feel like this is the right time to do it, right now is no better time than to make the change and go along with the process and feel comfortable and embrace yourself, knowing that it's okay to fail, knowing that it's okay to, try other things, but don't ever get caught up in the same cycle in your life, because over time it's the patterns that you're stuck to, and at some point you find it very hard to break the pattern, where you might actually have to consider yourself to maybe need help. And I thought that I needed help to go to a mental, I don't know what that was, but to go to a mental institution, or just to go to somebody and ask for help. And to this day, I might, I just might do that just to get an outside perspective, but I know I don't need it, and that's the difference. I feel like as though all the answers that I need to ask are within. It's right in here. Everything that I need to ask. It's whether it's here, but I know it's coming from here. And we have to get back to as people is just being more open to the things that we are set in front of us to. Everything that we need is right in front of us. If you have two eyes, two ears, one mouth, one brain, one heart, you should be able to make out what you want to do. And if everybody is judging you off of that, just know at some point you might be doing something right for you. And that right there alone should cross all that extra static out your world. And just be yourself. Be yourself. Don't feel like you have to do this because this person is doing it and like this person is doing that, so I must have to do it this way. Do things yourself. You was given your name for a reason, so you have to make your own out of your name for the rest of your life. We are not promised tomorrow, and we should not think too much on the past. It happened. And these are the things that I've learned with my process of the 30-day challenge. Now that I'm of age to smoke and drink and all like that. But it's different from 3 years back when I was able to stop and periodically come back into play. Like digressing a little bit, but it all comes back into a format of what you want out of life. And I know for me, I had my fun and it's always going to be there. But there's things that I would love to do and still work on while not feeling the need to need people to do it. Sometimes the best things to do in life is to do it on your own, by yourself. You don't have to promote everything on social media. You don't have to tell everybody that you're doing this. And it's a great thing to do that if you're that serious on your mission to cut out whatever you want to do. Stop eating so much junk food. Stop playing the video games all the time. Stop looking at your phone all the time. Watching TV, anything. It's just do it. Make yourself happy. Treat yourself when you need to be treated in a highly manner of just yourself. So in moral perspective, because we're heading to the 15-minute mark, I quit smoking weed to become more one with myself, to know myself a little bit more better than I did before, and just to feel alive. Feel like I'm here with a purpose. And I was giving just the gift of life. And there's nothing more pure than any child. And you have to keep the inner child within you. Don't need the substance. You don't need this, judgment of life or to be put in a bracket. Just do what you feel is right. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to end it on that note. And Like I said, any bad habits, just cut it with a knife and start right now. Thank you. Love you all. Take care. Yeah.